Hello, and welcome to another episode of Hacking with Friends. My name is Kody Kinsey. I'm a security researcher with Varonis, and this is Michael, our chief camera lifeguard.
Hey, I like that one actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what he does.
Saving the camera.
Anytime he keeps an eye on it, and if
Even though I want to throw it in the trash half the time.
Didn't say you were the greatest lifeguard, but you keep the ship on course. Not to mix metaphors.
Okay.
All right, so today we're going to be doubling back on our last stream, which was OSINT, and it proved to be pretty popular. In fact, it's one of our most popular ones we've done in a while in terms of how much it's been shared and how much it's been replayed since we did it. So I wanted to touch on another OSINT investigation, and that is one that focuses on screen names. Now, screen names are a really useful clue when you're doing an OSINT investigation because it allows you to string together someone's activities across the internet. Now, there's a couple different details of a screen name that are really helpful. And once you get them, you could be able to go to a variety of social media profiles to pick up more clues such as photos or phrases this person used to describe themselves that will allow you to find even more information. So Michael, can you imagine how finding a screen name might help out if you're doing an investigation on a particular subject?
Yeah, I mean, like the thing I've always used that sort of stuff for is it's very common for people to use screen names across like Snapchat, Instagram, like multiple social media profiles. I mean, some people like just hand it to you and like in every social media profile, they link to all their other social media profiles. But a lot of the times, if they don't do that, they will at least have, if not the exact same name, very similar. So if you are doing some sort of search where you need access to their social media, one of the quickest ways to find that is just like type that and then multiple little variations of it.
Yep. So
Yeah.
one thing as an OSINT investigator is we're usually given a very small set of clues. And we need to take those very small breadcrumbs and turn them into more and more breadcrumbs until we can kind of sniff out a trail and figure out where the information lies. And a lot of the time, if we start out with a single thing like someone's name, we can use a couple common search engines to find maybe one screen name. And that particular screen name might link to a profile that mentions a different screen name, which opens up the next clue and a treasure trove of other online activity. Now, as an investigator, this might seem trivial, like, oh, like, why would I want to find someone's, like, closed Instagram? Or why would I want to find someone's whatever? But really, there's a ton of detail that's allowed to be kind of leaked by social media. In particular, I'm thinking Venmo.
Yeah.
If you don't change your privacy settings, then all of your transactions under your screen name are actually public. So people can see like who you're hanging out with, they can see how much money you're paying them, they can see a lot of information about you. And you might think like, oh, funny joke, like, but if everybody can see that, then it really lets a lot of information slip, like dollar amounts between specific people, and it really lets people know who you're around, who you're associating with.
I don't remember the name of the exact tool, but I remember seeing a GitHub tool that was basically just searching Venmo transactions like you would on Shodan or something like that. And they were searching for certain emojis and certain things that would indicate nefarious interactions, I might say, between individuals. And I'm like, people, do you not realize like what you're doing? I digress though. Like, it is pretty amazing what some of these people will talk about, on these accounts. And like for a pen tester, like why do I care as a pen tester? Well, first of all, you can get a lot of things like good ideas for password lists if you need to do a very targeted like password list. You can also get indications of like if you're doing a physical pen test engagement, like when they might or might not be at the office. Like, oh, hey, thanks for telling me you're going on vacation next week. That sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. And then also going through photos. If I ever wanted to see the inside of a company's office, I would just find, for example, the Instagram or Twitter account of their employees, or just even a page that they maintain themselves. And I would basically get a walk through the building without ever having to set foot.
Right. Well, and another thing along those lines, too, is like oftentimes you'll see events like, office parties or whatnot, and you'll see pictures from those that will include like their IDs. So now if you need a physical pen test engagement, hey, I got a picture of their IDs. I know how to make an ID like that. Like there's a whole like tunnel of thought you can go down there and just be like, okay, well, I now am an employee at your company because I know virtually everything I need to know. I know like the boss's nickname, so I can say, oh, hey, yeah, I'm here to see Joe for a meeting, And the secretary would be like, oh, yeah, of course, you're one of us.
Yeah, so this used to be my job. I used to be employed doing business intelligence so that when the company I was working for did an approach to another business, they already knew everyone there, they knew the deal, they knew how much money they had to work with, and they basically had very, very favorable terms to work with because they had a lot of information. Now, this information is leaked everywhere. A lot of times businesses try to be, transparent and show themselves to customers, but they end up leaking information in interesting ways. And Michael already touched on some, but some things I've been seeing recently are student IDs and employee IDs held up in photos, which have barcodes on them or QR codes, which are machine readable. That sometimes displays a lot of information. For example, if you have a state ID, go ahead and scan the back of it with a PDF 417 scanner, which are free and commonly available on any app store. And you'll find that it includes all of your biographical information, including your address. So there might be situations where having that barcode exposed doesn't seem like a bad thing to a layperson, but to a hacker, they're just like, beep. And oh, you live here. I saw a bunch of students at Harvard University showing their student IDs, and I was like, oh, that's nice. But and they were trying to hide it, but then they exposed the barcode, and it's like, somebody at Harvard should tell you that.
Yeah,
but
I did a kind of similar themed article on Nullbyte a couple of years back with plane tickets. Because, the barcode on the plane ticket holds a tremendous amount of data, and people are always like, oh, hey, traveling. And, then you got, their full legal name, usually a frequent flyer travel number, the exact flight they are on.
And their reference number.
If they share that before they actually check in and stuff, then you can change their flight. You could cancel it before they even get to the terminal.
So Michael wrote about this, and it was really, really interesting because the most airlines require a very small amount of information in order to go into your online account and change stuff. So if you are posting pictures of your tickets because you're going out and it has a barcode on it and you share that, somebody who doesn't like the fact that you're going on vacation could go in and cancel your vacation. So just keep that in mind. And the last thing I'm going to point out is keys. If you put keys on the internet, that is a bad thing. A key is a piece of metal that holds a number. That's all it is. Yeah. It's ancient technology that's basically used to hold a number, which is a key depth or a pin depth for a particular lock.
Very easy to decode that.
So if you have a picture of a key, there are applications out there that can take this and basically cut a key using the same blank that you're using that is the exact same. It's called optical key recognition. For a while, there were these kiosks in stores that, called KeyMe that you could go to, and you could take a picture on your phone of your key and replicate it there. So if someone were able to just snap a picture of the key that you took, then they could actually go ahead and get that key made. Which is why I believe you cannot do that anymore.
Yeah, and not even to go on too much of a side tangent there, but the key me's would allow you to save the bit number of the key. So someone would give you a key and you'd be to use for a day or two for something or whatever, and you could just save it there and then
in seconds.
In seconds.
So don't post keys, don't post student IDs, don't post work IDs, don't post stuff with QR codes that you don't know what it is, or PDF 417 codes, especially they're very information dense. Because we're about to show you how you can string all that stuff together.
Basically, don't use social media paragraph.
No, that's not true. You can use social media just fine. Just don't post weird personal stuff on it that's a security thing that somebody trusts you with. So, okay, we're going to use 3 different tools today. And actually, we're going to use more than that because some of my Python installation is messed up and I don't have time to fix it. So we're going to be using some browser-based Python tools, which I think are really cool because you can get basically a Python REPL just from a browser for free in 2 different ways. And I'm going to be showing those off today just because my Python installation is so messed up and you guys can benefit from it. So if I think this actually might even work on a phone. I haven't tried it yet.
Hopefully y'all understood what he just said better than I did.
A Python REPL.
I don't know what a REPL is.
Read, evaluate, print loop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're going to be using a couple tools. The first is going to be Sherlock, which is something I've done a Nullbyte episode on before. I've also talked to the creator a little bit, they're really, really cool. They have done some impressive updates, and actually they are the reason I know about these browser-based tools because they keep Sherlock super updated. And there's lots of other tools that kind of have similar functionality, but I really am impressed by the dedication of this developer in keeping this tool really, really well performing
Yeah.
simple to install, and easy to run even if you don't have a physical computer to run it on, which is
That's something
interesting.
I always get annoyed with on GitHub is like usually I find that people are really into their projects for a short amount of time and then they kind of like move on from it and it gets deprecated and you become reliant on these tools sometimes.
Yep. So also we're going to be using TWINT, which is a Twitter scraping tool that does not require an API. Now, when I was doing training for journalists in Norway, I was kind of surprised because this was like one of their favorite tools. They thought it was super awesome because you can scrape like vast amounts of data to find specific statements someone made, links, followers, all
Right.
this stuff. And a lot of it was for like, monitoring like extremist communities and stuff like that, like seeing who was following like bots, for example, and like getting an
Right.
indication of like botnets and like how they interconnect with each other. So legitimate uses where you're downloading a lot of data and sifting through it. So we're going to be using that tool, but I will say it has been horrible for me to install it. I need to double check and see how recently it has been updated, but we'll be using, yes, Sherlock, TWINT, and finally Maltego again. Again, it's not necessary for us to use Maltego here. We could probably use search engines, but for graphing and mapping things
Yeah.
and keeping
So much prettier.
Yeah, for just keeping stuff kind of in a clear point of view, we're going to be using that to visualize a lot of our results.
Yeah. Now, I was going to say, like, even with, like, TWINT and, like, you could scrape through that data and see, like, oh, these are the people that they frequently tweet at and communicate with, and then that can often be very valuable. Because, like, one of the other strong use cases in my mind for social media data is seeing who the person is close to. Because, say, like, I wanted to hack Kody, right? Like, I know his stuff's really locked down. What I might do is try to hack his friend, and then I could get some information through them, and then I could use that friend to try to pivot an attack into Kody and do some kind of social engineering where he thinks he's talking to his friend, but he's really talking to me.
That happened to me one time.
Yeah.
Someone started impersonating a friend that I wasn't in contact with, and because I didn't have a way to independently verify it, I thought I was talking to somebody else for a while. But it was
Yeah.
just someone that did their research, watched the person that I'd been communicating with, and then was able to emulate their communication. This was like almost a decade ago.
Wow.
But it was still pretty crazy. So that kind of attack does exist.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and start getting into this. All right,
Can we
so
make that screen a little bit?
yeah, but it's useless because this is cursed. So guys, this is what happens when I try to install and run TWINT. Okay, all right, cool. So then let's do TWINT-u, and let's do my username. I'll make this even bigger so you guys can see this big mess that's about to happen. So TWINT-u, Kody Kinsey. I'm sleeping. Non-type object, not subscribed. Okay, so something is wrong.
No.
It's not working.
Critical.
If I let this run, it'll just keep going forever. Obviously, I have tweets, so this is not correct. But my Python installation is messed up. So rather than making this a tutorial about Python installations, I'm instead going to introduce you to some cool stuff. So this is shell.cloud.google.com, a domain I didn't know existed, but now do. And this is a Cloud Shell. What is that? I don't know, but it allows me to do a bunch of Python stuff for free.
No, yeah. Tutorials Point also has something like this. I often use just when I want to check like Python code or like try a little loop or something.
Yep. So over here we have an alternative, REPL.it, R-E-P-L.it.
Okay.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. I don't know what all this big mess is, but it includes the installation process for the tool I want to run, which I think is great. And I can run all the stuff I want to do right here, although you can see I've been having some problems. So let me...
That's how you know you're having a fun day as a hacker, when you get a bunch of errors.
Right, exactly. All right, let's reload this. So yeah, I love this. I've used REPL.it a couple times before for, as you said, just like running a piece of Python code or something like that. And I didn't sign up for an account, so you can just do this, which I love. I think it's really cool you can do that. So
It really takes a second to load in there.
it does. I'm using some like wacky VPN though.
Wow.
So you can see the installation instructions, all that stuff. I'm gonna type ls, and look at that. I have already some stuff that I have done on here. So
I wonder how much processing power they give you.
yeah, who knows, right? Can I just here? So for anyone who cares, this is what they give you, or at least this is what I'm able to pull up the top. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take a look at the tools we're going to be using today. We're going to be using Sherlock, which was last updated like less than 19 days ago, which I think is
Wait,
great.
that's really good.
Yeah.
Like, I rarely see that. Unless it's like right when a project's first coming out.
Yeah, so like look at the way that this project is documented. It has a bunch of like past information, which is great. It has a little graphic that shows you the correct way to use it, which is also beautiful. It has the installation process, which is elegant and shortened. Like they've also made it available through pip, so you can just do a pip install without needing to git clone it. Like they really, and then they have these two buttons: open in Google Cloud Shell and run on REPL.it.
Ooh, that's how you found those, because I was like, how did you find these tools?
Right?
Like,
I didn't know about
them.
these. And I think that they're fantastic. Like just playing around with them a little bit, it's hard for me to run them on Firefox because I have it so locked down and it like needs a bunch of like JavaScript access and like seems to be running a bunch of like tracking stuff because it goes back to Google.
Hates it.
NoScript hates it. It like basically won't let it run. But if I run it in Chrome, then it seems to run just fine.
Because good old Chrome.
Because Chrome likes to suck your data up. So we have Python 3 Sherlock -- help as our default help script. So let's go. I think I can pull this up in my broken. I can't even do that.
Okay.
You're so sad. Oh wait, no, maybe just Sherlock.
No.
Oh, what a bummer. All right.
Pathetic Macs.
Yeah.
And their
So you.
No. I
All
appear
right.
to be using a Mac.
Okay,
so am
buddy.
I.
Not Python. Python. Boom.
So what is it that Sherlock does again exactly? Is it the username lookup?
Yeah, so Sherlock is username lookup, and what it does, I'm just seeing if there's a condensed description. Nope, it doesn't. So what it does is it uses these arguments below in order to allow you to specify data and also save it in a format that's friendly. So you can save it to JSON data, you can save it to CSV data, you can save it to like a database file. It's really, really malleable. And that's why journalists like it, because they can run simple queries against it and take what is like an absolute ton of data and make it much more manageable. So yeah, I really like this project. I think it's cool. And we're going to stumble through running this on a cloud account so that we don't have to run it on my computer, because you can't, because it's messed up. And then we're also, again, going to be using TWINT. So TWINT was not as recently updated, but it was still, like October 7th, 2020. So like whatever. That's
okay,
like,
that's just
really
a couple
recent.
days ago.
Yeah. So
That's just like the README though, right?
no. Well,
Yeah.
yes, for that particular one. September 5th, 2020 for Elasticsearch. Yeah, requirements.txt was updated.
I want to know what tool they're using for those analytics there, though, because that looks really elegant.
Elasticsearch, I think. But okay, so we can see
Onward and upward.
Piple build failing. License MIT downloads. Okay, so we can see that this project looks fairly healthy, but I've been having a couple issues with it. TWINT is an advanced Twitter scraping tool written in Python that allows for scraping tweets from Twitter profiles without using Twitter's API. Now, Twitter's pretty friendly about allowing you to just look at tweets and doesn't, like Instagram, just slam you with a, like, you can't read any further if you're not logged in. So by spoofing user agents, this tool is really useful in allowing you to basically gobble down a large amount of data from Twitter without needing an API key. Now, if you've ever used an OSINT tool that requires you to use an API key, you know it is a pain. You have to go create an account. Like sometimes they like hit you up with like this really long terms of service. Someone give you a quiz. Like sometimes you have to submit something that says like why you'll be using it. Like Twitter in particular is horrible about giving up API keys. They've been beset with bots, so like they really don't like giving it out. And you have to, if you're building any sort of automated thing or using any sort of automation, explain to them exactly what you're doing and why, and they will probably just say no if they're the least bit suspicious. So like for me, somebody trying to like search through a lot of tweets, like it is not an advantage to me if a tool requires me to get an API key. It is in fact like a good afternoon's worth of work, and you might not even be able to get it done the same day,
also,
which is not like ideal.
For like shareability, right? Like when you have an API key, you rely on the fact that that person's going to be knowledgeable enough to go and find the API key and get one themselves. Whereas if it just uses a browser tool, then hey, anyone can download it. If you can run terminal, you can use it ostensibly.
So here's some other benefits. So with the API key, you're limited to 3,200 tweets only. With this, you can get pretty much all the tweets. Fast setup can be used anonymously and without a Twitter sign-in. So one thing about the Twitter API key is, let's say that you're like, okay, cool, like I'm going to use this new OSINT tool. Oh no, it uses an API key. Okay, well, I guess I'll generate one. 2 days later, all right, I explained to Twitter what I'm doing. Now they gave you this API key. Here you go. And then like the tool runs and Twitter's like, that's suspicious behavior, and blocks your account.
That sounds
Now you can't tweet.
bueno.
Like, so that's your API key. It's tied to your account. So if the tool triggers some sort of automated like defense tool against bots or whatever, or you do something that makes Twitter angry, it's going to be like, oh, your account deleted or blocked or whatever. So if you want to be able to search on Twitter without making your own account be at risk or having to create like a sock puppet account and then go through the process of getting an API key again, then this is a way better option. And also there's no rate limitations. So you can only hit the Twitter API so many times before they start like blocking you. So this is a way that you can get around that. Like it just thinks you're a very, 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 very addicted tweet reader that refuses to commit. So we have a lot of problems when, and just showing some basic examples and combos. TWINT-U username just scrapes all of users' tweets. That is a lot often. This command is currently not working, and I don't know why. TWINT-U and then -S allows you to search for subjects. But if you just scrape the entire Twitter's timeline, then you can go through it. So this is like, supposed to save you time, but I don't know why it's not working.
Yeah, so would you do a lot of the initial search through TWINT, or would it be better to just import all the tweets and all that data and then use something like Python or some other data processing language?
I'm mostly gonna target, for example, if I just wanted to do twint username and then -o file.csv, I'm scraping all the tweets to a CSV file, and then I can just slice and dice them in like in Python or whatever else, like however I want. So I can also look for GPS coordinates. For a
That's
radius
a thing
of
on
one,
Twitter?
yeah,
On Twitter?
yeah. So if people have tagged their location, you can scrape all tweets from a radius of a certain area. I'm not sure if that works, but we're gonna try it.
Ripe for taking advantage.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's lots and lots of cool stuff we can do with this, and really, like, you have to try these out and make sure they're still working, because every once in a while there will be one that doesn't work. But it's it is a lot of really cool stuff. So so our subject today, we have a really hard time doing OSINT tools because it's really hard for us to pick an acceptable subject for us to run them on. No, we can't really harass like a private citizen by just like picking some random dude and like doing an investigation on him. And we also can't do any like businesses that, Varonis does business with because we work for them, or that we might do business with. So between like all of that, it's very hard to pick someone who's unabashedly okay to investigate because they're just weird. Until I remembered this morning, John McAfee.
Good. Well played, sir.
Yeah, so we've done some investigations where we've used John McAfee before, and what I like about him is he does not keep a low profile. He leaves tons of trails on the internet, and he really, really doesn't care if people are watching him. So for an investigator who had to do research on him, this allows the use of many tools that the average like low-key person might not be setting so many red flags on. Of course, we're also going to get a lot of chaff on this, which is people creating imposter accounts or other people, because this guy is pretty famous, other people trying to impersonate him for Bitcoin schemes or otherwise. But we should be able to use these tools to get an idea of where we would find this individual online. So let's assume a role. Let's say that we are a poor Spanish investigator who, if you don't know, John McAfee was recently arrested in Spain on some charges. And if there was somebody in Spain who was then responsible for looking up his recent activity to establish who this guy was, then aside from having their mind blown, they would probably begin by using some tools to establish his identity and look to see if there was any information available online. So we're going to start from a point of no knowledge. Let's say that I don't know exactly who this guy is, and I want to go from just a name all the way to something more. So here we can see a Maltego investigation where I've gone all the way to pulling up, this is the indictment against poor John.
Oh my.
So if I open this in a new window, and this is actually John's Twitter account.
Oh, America.
I can see the indictment, the United States of America versus John David McAfee. Not something you ever want to see. Okay, so how did we get here? Like, obviously this is a lot of information. Let's retrace our steps, and we're going to try to use tools that are free or have a community edition, and just kind of generally explain how this would work. Now, first, I'm going to start by deleting all of our results. So we're starting back at square one.
Oh no.
I know. And delete. Yep. And we're starting with the single point of data, John. So over on the side here, and this should be true in the community edition, which is free, or in any edition, there's a variety of different entities. We can have a person, we could even have a phrase. If we already know someone's screen name, then this is a point we could start at, but let's assume that we don't know that. Right. So, okay, so we have a single person, and when we right mouse click on this, Maltego intelligently allows us to find out which transforms we can run in order to pull more information. And we have the standard transforms, which are free, and which we can run without any cost. And then we also have additional transforms, which are either paid or, in the case of Aleph, still experimental or not totally available to the public. I'm going to try to switch to the ones that are public.
Yeah.
So,
and so that's just a person entity we have there with
Yep. So
John.
we created a person entity. I can create one by just dragging and dropping.
Yeah.
And then, you know.
Just type in a new name.
Okay, I'm not going to do that. All right, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so we're not going to run Michael. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. All right, goodbye.
Hey, I mean, we could always do a
No.
search on you.
All right, let's go ahead and do standard transforms. And you can see there's some optional things here. In this case, I'm not going to specify we're looking for a domain or anything. I'm just going to run. And by running the standard domains, we get some information. And we can see that there's been some news coverage. We have some email addresses that have been dredged up, but they don't really look
Whoa,
related.
what transform did you run that like gives you emails?
All.
All? Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude. So there's one that just says
Very
all.
subtle.
Yeah. And we can see...
and those are phone numbers
we see some phone numbers that's associated. And if we want to learn more information, we can see properties and see like where...
So you could, in theory, find like John McAfee's phone number? Just like...
Possibly, yeah. So if it's been listed somewhere online, this is going to look through examples that look like they might be related. So here we can see there's something from The Guardian, and we see it's about him.
Yeah.
But we're looking for social media accounts. And what do you see here? Do you see any social media accounts?
Not really. I mean, I know back in the day you used to be...
That's Twitter.
Back in the day you used to be able to take a phone number and search it on Facebook and turn that into a person's profile. But they since, I think, disabled that, where you can only see the phone numbers of your friends when you search them.
Are you sure you don't see any social media?
Oh, Twitter, yeah.
There
Sorry,
we go.
I'm not looking.
There we go. All right, cool. So here we can see we've uncovered a Twitter account. And this has been linked to in various ways by different media articles and stuff. And it gives us the Twitter account. So I can press OK. I can go over here. I can put it into the browser. And boom, there we go. We have...
Oh my god.
Yeah, we have...
Okay.
Exactly what's going on here. Wow. All right, so we can see we have a screen name. So this is good news. Screen name lets us dramatically expand our investigation. I can copy that. I can go back into Maltego. But really, for now, Maltego's job is kind of done. If we want to show off some stuff, then let's show off some stuff. I'm going to delete the stuff. And I'm going to run a different type of search. So let's just show you guys like what you can do with some of the other transforms.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do social links. Now, social links is a Russian company that acts as a proxy for your searches. So be aware that they probably retain your searches. And if you're doing something on a sensitive topic, maybe you shouldn't use them, or maybe you should evaluate them further. However, if you look at this, you can see that we've uncovered associates. So Janet McAfee, the financial advisor. So we have an address. We have a URL for a company's house. So if you want to then investigate a little bit about Mr. McAfee's, I guess, companies, then we can see there's an open work partnership. It's active. We can see that it is in a tax-friendly area.
Yeah.
And this information is all public. So, all right, we're getting some information. So that's his wife. We can see there's McAfee Properties, McAfee Estate Management, and we can also see that there's some Aleph results, which is interesting because Aleph has its own transforms, but this is doing it for us. So we can see that some of this is mentioned in Hacking Team leaks. Do you know what Hacking Team was?
No.
Hacking Team was an Italian hacking group that sold spyware to governments with shady human rights records and got busted because somebody broke into their servers they were basically spying on themselves, stole the information, published it, and never got caught. And it was not
You can't
me.
make this stuff.
It was
sort
not
of
me.
stuff up. Like
Yeah. So whoever that badass was dumped a lot of really interesting information onto the internet about people that are looking to buy spyware or people that are active in the hacker community. So a lot of times you'll find hits on various hacker people in these hacker
So
hacking team leaks.
I was going to ask you too earlier is like, so obviously we're getting a lot of results here. How much of that is because this is a high profile individual? Like if we were doing like, you know, the CEO of some like mid-sized company, like what could
they would
we
own
expect?
properties, they would be on businesses, you would find results.
Okay, you would find results, maybe just not quite as many.
Yeah, so here you can see we found everything from the unsealed indictment that we saw before. We can see cryptocurrency information. What is this?
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm a little bit curious.
McAfee's got to earn some, have some Bitcoin or something we can track down.
Hello there. I want you to use crypto money in shopping and payments in the development and growing world. I want you to make the necessary arrangements. Good work.
What?
Okay. That seems like a virus. I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
All right. So this is again using a transform that might not necessarily be for everyone. But if I want to get rid of this, and then just to use one final transform before we move on to another tool, we can also use Aleph, which we used before. And you can also go ahead and do this from a browser. You can go to the Aleph website and use their interface.
And I was going to say, while some of this is paid, if you are a journalist, do contact Maltego. They might be able to give you a steep discount as far as, you know, pen testers or other security researchers.
Yeah, let them know your use case.
Yeah.
And especially press, if you know any press people that could use stuff like this, please let them know, because you know more press could really use tools like this to help solve tricky investigations. So while this is running, I'm going to go over and we're going to take a look at our first other tool that we're going to use in response to what we've learned. And the first thing we really found was we managed to find the screening that he's using. So wow, look at all this stuff.
Maltego's kind of scary sometimes.
UN Office on Drugs and Crime. Why am I not surprised? Bahamas Company Registries. Well, that sounds like some tax stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I was running an investigation into tax evasion or drugs and crime, then it seems like there's a lot of hits related to that.
There's so many that it grouped it all together.
Yeah, there's so many that it grouped it. So
nice.
So I'm gonna expand this so it doesn't group results so quickly. Oh my god. How many? Oh wait, no, that's not grouping results. That's returning results. It's not what I wanted. Whatever. Okay, I'll do it another time. All right, so wow, that's a lot of information. And we can see specific documents here if we really want to in a little list that's all organized, and start to see like what...
Is that a new feature? I haven't seen that before.
No, it's just, I mean, maybe, sure. I don't know. It's just clicking around.
Yeah.
I don't think so, though. You can see the list both here, and you can also see it in a list here. So if any of these documents concern you, then you can go through them and see if they're related to the investigation. Wow. All right. Wow. Okay.
And I think I mentioned this on the previous Maltego episode, but generally you're going to have to go through this data and polish it and make sure like that some of it's not like weird parsing stuff like we saw that with that random email kind of thing, and just make sure it's actually related.
Yeah. And I'm also, this looks like it's related back to his company. So like there might be some confusion with that. But our main thing we got from this is a screen name. And that's the screen name for his Twitter. Do I still have it? No, of course. I copied and pasted other things. That's okay. I can get it back. Yeah. I just need to get a handle on all these transforms that are running aboard. All right, so I'm going to run the transform that I used in order to get his screen name originally. And that should return pretty quickly because it's just going to Maltego servers and not Aleph. There we go. And where is it? There it is. Okay, so we have a screen name. Let's go ahead and I'm going to see if I can do this from scratch. We're going to just from the GitHub click on run on repl.it.
So you at home could follow along with this right now if you wanted to.
You absolutely could, and you should. And it's just going to go ahead and get clone. And basically, it also will include the installation settings right here.
Cool.
Which I think is very cool. and I'm about to lose that screen image is copied. I'm going to put it in the universal text editor here.
Yes.
And all right, we've already cloned it. So I'm going to type ls in my mystery machine, and I can see I already have Sherlock. So I'm going to do cd Sherlock ls. Yep, looks like we got some stuff going on here. And then we'll do Python 3 mpip requirements.txt. Boop, 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 boop. And hopefully...
Error.
But I...
Do you need to install it? Is it not already installed?
I don't think it installed it, but let's see what happens. So usage should be Python 3 Sherlock. Let's see what happens if I just bounce this command around. cd ... Yeah, it hates it. Okay, so we've got some work to do.
Da-da-da.
So first, it's very nice of them to set up all this stuff, but I don't know if they did it right or not, so I'm gonna remove it. So I'm gonna rm r Sherlock. So that's gone. Cool. And then I'm going to try to do this right. So let's just assume that it messed it up somehow. We're gonna clone it ourselves.
Cool. I'm just doing all the cloning.
Whoa, that's not Sherlock. cd Sherlock ls. Do we have... Yeah, we've got some stuff we didn't have before. That's good, like requirements.txt. The thing.
Oh,
that
maybe
just,
it loaded like an older version or something?
Yeah, it did something stupid. So I'm going to try now doing the installation. Let's see if it doesn't choke this time. Yay, it's working. Beautiful. Soup. That's what it's installing. Beautiful soup. So cool. As soon as this is done, then we should have something to work with. And we can take our first clue and we can actually convert it into further leads and see if we can track down any other accounts. So let's copy this.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that uses the search bar.
The search bar, I think, is the best and most common text editor for people to use. You know, it's
back
fantastic.
in the day, I used to use it as spell check too.
Oh boy.
I would just like Google search anything I needed to spell check.
All right, so let's do Python 3 Sherlock. And then I'm just going to use a positional username, official McAfee. Let's see if it works.
Hey.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy.
This
Okay.
looks like it's going.
Yeah, so the other thing that's cool is if it works, I'm not going to say it's cool before it actually returns results. The other thing that's cool when it works, which it is working, is it's doing these requests not from my IP address. So
Oh yeah, so in theory the person wouldn't know that they're being searched by you.
Right. I mean, not like, this is, worst case is like, you try to go to their LinkedIn or something and you're logged in and LinkedIn's just like, surprise, this guy looked at you. Do you want to pay $9 to like learn his birthday or whatever?
So question with
but this would definitely prevent that.
Am I able to give Sherlock a like list of usernames and like it'll try to find any social media accounts with that? Because like what I'm thinking is like, sure, it's like John McAfee or John McAfee official, like, but yeah, like if I wanted to try all the variations of that, like official John McAfee, John McAfee official, John McAfee official 69, like all these different accounts he may or may not possess. Then how would I go about doing that?
I don't know that you can input a list, or at least I haven't seen an option to input a list.
Okay.
So I think you would just need to run them one by one, unfortunately.
Gotcha. Or you could like make a bash script or something that did it for you.
Yeah. So we have one result. It's a cache me account.
That seems like it may not actually be.
Really? I think that makes it more legitimate that it could be John.
I mean, I don't know. I guess he would have enough money already that he's not going to care about $5 from you or me.
No, he likes donations, I imagine. Let's see.
I mean, I like donations.
Hey, okay, it's been taken over. I forgot. Jesse did this. Yeah, so this actually happened last time too. We found this and we're just like, cool, we found him. And then it's just some dude named Jesse.
Nice.
So,
well played, sir.
Yeah, good for you for getting that. I'm going to try stopping this because it seems like it's crashing. I'm also going to go back.
I guess if y'all want to reward that guy, send him a buck or two.
That's hilarious. Yeah, okay, so it's not persistent. That's very interesting. All right, so we have some more results. I tried to stop it, but it doesn't care. It refuses my commands, and instead it's just going to send me to Elo.
Oh, hey, at least it gave you a bunch of results there.
What is Elo? I forget what Elo is. Elo, no thanks. Okay, we have some other cryptocurrency related stuff.
Yeah, that seems like something you might be involved in.
Yep. We've got Facebook, official McAfee. So you guys can start to see how a hacker would use this information. We're just going to go one by one and try to find out which one of these are legitimate and which one of these might leak information about the subject. So, we had this one looks like it might be.
And it's even got the little check mark.
Yep, this is also recent content from him. So if you wanted to take this and see where else he's syndicating content, we could probably do that. Oh my God, sorry. Whoa. Okay, that surprised me. Let's get out of here.
Well, and something else that occurs to me is, like, for example, we're finding a lot of video content of John McAfee. Like, you could make a deep fake based on that.
Oh my God, you guys, I'm so scared. We found a photo bucket.
Oh no, let's maybe skip that.
Oh wait. Hey, we found his TikTok. Okay, now we're in business. Now we're gonna see the good
TikTok
stuff.
has a website?
Yeah, it does.
Wow, I'm getting old.
Yeah. We're on TikTok. By the way, guys, we're on TikTok.
Oh yeah,
we're
this is
not
my first
good.
TikTok video.
We're not good yet, but we're on TikTok.
No, what do you mean? I am an amazing TikToker. I took an hour-long live stream and turned it into a minute.
With 3 bottles of champagne, 2 bottles of tequila today between the hours of 11 a.m. and whatever it may be right now.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how drunk is he right now?
Champagne is in this glass.
Okay, well, looks like he's setting a good example for the kids on TikTok.
Yep.
And I'm glad we found that. So if we go back here, oh no, wait, no, we're all on the Rebel. We can see we've also found Mastodon, which is pretty interesting. Twitch, Twitter, Trading View. I'm sorry, this one I have to check out.
That's gotta be a cryptocurrency thing.
That's what I'm hoping.
Hey, I bet we could find a wallet name or something, and then we would be able to track.
No,
all of
it's almost definitely get out of here. It's almost definitely some sort of scam. Okay, so going back here, we can see we have a lot to go off of right now, but let's focus on Twitter for now. We can see that if I click on this, it is...
Even Twitter doesn't like...
There we go. It is his official account. It's verified. It has a blue check mark. It's got 1 million followers. It's very, very likely that this is, just like gonna be the best source of information for him. So if I'm an investigator, I can go ahead and take this, and if I want to, I can use it in TWINT. So for this one, we're going to be using shell.cloud.google, and I'm just installing this the same way that I installed the other one, but oh my gosh, is it actually gonna work? LS. No, I think it might not, but let's find out. So I installed TWINT.
That text is super tiny.
Yeah, chill. I'm just gonna see if it works. TWINT. Command not found. All right, guys, we get to install this all over again. My favorite.
I'm enjoying.
Yeah. All right. So TWINT, Twitter intelligence tool. How do we install it? How about one line? Great. Let's do it.
I do love one-liners. Gotta trust them.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily always trust them.
All right. Let's make this big. Whoa, not that big. You get out of here. Explorer, Kody. I hate it how if I do who am I, it says my name because it's Google and they're all creepy.
That's great.
Oh my God, what happened? Oh my God.
And he says he's so great with computers. Look at him.
Michael,
Pathetic.
people would hate to see what's on your computer right now. They would hate to see it.
Oh, I do have like 100 Chrome tabs open.
All right.
Don't judge.
Yeah, I know you recovered from an existing session. It was terrible. I was there. See, Michael, making everything big was a terrible idea.
Blame me.
Look, it's like below itself. It has no idea what's going on.
How to break Google's cloud services. Make it bigger.
Why did you do this? Okay, so I'm going to try running this huge command again, and hopefully...
Okay, it seems to be going.
It seems to be skipping a lot of stuff. That's not good. Okay, so let's try TWINT.
Sure, things work. Maybe. We'll see.
Boop, boop, boop. Oh, okay. All right, so now it says we need to use -u. So let's do TWINT
Oh, let's see if we get that same way.
-u, and we're going to do it oh, no, I just... Again. So, all right, guys, this is where I have to warn you. John uses some colorful language. So if you're a child, please turn your eyes, away. Because John is going to swear, and we're probably going to see it. So I got to go back and get his dumb... All right, let's do it. I want 2 clipboards for copying and pasting.
Oh, that would be nice if you could like
Here we go.
Control V, Control C, and then like one. Or...
All right, here we go. A boatload of McAfee tweets. the number one thing I've
and is
always
it actually
wanted.
saving those anywhere? Is it
Nope,
just, like,
it's just displaying them on our screen. So let's stop, because otherwise it'll go on forever.
Yeah.
Thanks for your bid. Better luck with your next auction. So this is him replying directly to people, him retweeting people.
Okay.
It's everything. But this is pretty unmanageable. So let's take a look at how we can actually take this information and work with it. So, all right.
Good old documentation.
Documentation. So here, if we want to scrape it, then we can do so with this command. So I'm basically going to just, well, I don't need to copy that. I just need to copy this last part. So we're just going to save it as file.csv. And hopefully this dumb fake cloud computer lets me do that. Let's do it. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, now it's saving stuff. And what we're going to be able to do after this finishes going through, and John is a prolific tweeter, so this is going to
I was
go
going to
for
say,
quite
this
some
could
time.
take hours, couldn't it?
No, it's not going to
Like how long, like how many, I don't know.
It's not going to take hours. He's not a machine, and he's, doing other stuff most of the time.
We could use this against our glorious president, I'm sure, and it would take hours.
Anybody who's a prolific tweeter, this is going to take some time. So you can also see up here, we've got file.csv. What happens if I click this? Can I see it while it's growing? Wow! Okay, I didn't even know this, you guys. That's actually great. So as the data is coming in, I can examine it. Get out of here. What are you? Okay, well, this dumb little thing's in the way. The problem is you. There we go. And we can start to see lots of information. So we can see the ID, the conversation ID, the created at, the date, time, the time zone, username, time, please, time, place, tweet, language, mentions, URL, photos, replies. So if we're looking for photos, we can specifically look for those. A link to the tweet. Oh my gosh, there's so much information about each one. And we can go through here. And see where Mr. McAfee is, at a gentleman's club in Iceland. He was never found. I don't know what is going on with John's feed, but I know that we're scraping it at an alarming rate, and we're learning more and more about the man as we do. So this is getting to the point where we've started out with just a name. We used Maltego to find an initial screen name. And then we ran that through Sherlock to be able to link it to a bunch of other different weird domains on the internet, learn more about the target from there, and be able to then settle on using a scraping tool to download as much information as possible from the discovered accounts. And here, you can see we're still at it.
I mean, that's what I was saying. I think it's going to take a little longer than you anticipated.
It's going to take a while. But here we can see we've got lots and lots and lots of data now. And this also is linking to photos, videos, and other sorts of media that we might want to look back on. So if we want to go back through this and identify only things that have, for example, photos and videos attached, I am too scared to play them on the live stream. They are almost definitely not going to be appropriate, and they are not going to make anyone smarter for playing them. Yeah. However, they do exist, and they are very incriminating. So if you wanted to see, I don't know what type of random guns John McAfee had on his boat as they were sailing into Bermuda or wherever they got arrested last time, then you can probably prominently see them shooting into the ocean and doing other stuff by just looking for videos that were published on the Twitter account. So this is a really good way for journalists or anybody else who wants to scrape through large amounts of data. A lot of it self-published maybe by somebody or their followers. Because if, let's say, your target isn't necessarily just this person, you can flip it by also looking for followers. So you can see a list of people that are following this person and list of people that person is following.
Is there a way to? I mean, you could always cross-match it afterwards, but is there a way to cross-match it in there so they're following and being followed back? Because like that's a good way to find people that they're closer to, right?
Yeah. So if you wanted to like compare the difference between the lists and see which names were, in
both,
common,
yeah,
then you could find a list of people that should be focused on specifically maybe. We can also collect their favorites, their full profile, all their retweets. This is all the kind of stuff that an investigator would want to find, maybe links to other people, associates, other people that are contributing to this conversation. It all provides a lot of context for being able to scrape this data and find out information about someone. So sometimes people will also geotag their tweets, and this is a great way to basically look through their entire timeline and see, oh, well, maybe this person has geotagged their stuff, maybe only once. Oh my god, the Cloud Shell is really having a hard time keeping up.
We're getting close to running out of time.
Oh, well, that's okay, because, so the next step of this is you are already, running a Cloud Shell.
Right.
If you wanted to take this data and maybe start to slice and dice it and look for, the next step in your investigation, images where you might be able to use OSINT to place them, or videos that provided more evidence of people involved, you would really have a lot to work with. We've started from this tiny little breadcrumb and we've really expanded it. So yeah, I think that this is all we're going to get into today. This is going to take a lot.
Yeah.
This is going to take a lot of time. But the end result is we're going to have a CSV file that is just full of basically all the information that Twitter has on this individual. And then I can kick back, maybe use Jupyter Notebook or something like that to start to analyze the data using Python and really gain a lot of insight in something that normally would just be absolutely tedious to go through, especially using Twitter's built-in interface or using the API that you have to
and
request
I'm sure
access
if you
to.
were familiar with like data analytics and data science and maybe like using R or some of the statistical programming languages, you could find a lot of like interesting information, like what are his habits like based on how often he tweets and when he tweets and like all that sort of stuff.
Yep, and there are even some filters that are able to establish or just do a rough search for mentions of phone numbers or email addresses. And I've already used it to be able to unturn a couple email addresses Mr. Cappy was using back when he was selling crypto phones. So, there's viable contact information out there that you can scrape from this stuff, because sometimes someone will just not DM it, but like at someone back. And because they think it's in like this obscure thread, no one's ever going to see it, but people see it. So everything on Twitter's public, and that's kind of what is scary and also awesome about it. It's a great database that you can scrape relatively easily without needing to even put your account at risk, and you're able to do it anonymously. So be careful what you put out there on Twitter. And if you're doing an investigation on social media and you happen to find someone who's really prolific on Twitter, TWINT is an amazing tool for doing this. And also, you don't even need to use your own computer. That's the best part.
Yes. Yeah. Because any kid at like a library could do this in theory.
Oh, we're done. Yeah, cool. All right. So
do you want me to show your screen real quick?
No, it's huge. This file is so big. I'm vaguely curious about just how big it is, but
you can't tease the audience like that.
I'm sorry. I don't even know how to see how many lines this file is. But it's big. Just trust me when I say it's huge. Maybe we'll do another
oh no.
Yeah, it's too huge.
Yeah, it's too huge.
It can't handle.
Okay.
if I try to go all the way to the bottom, which isn't even the bottom, I'm on line
39,000. 941 is okay. So at least 39,000.
Far more than that. That's not even halfway.
77,000. That's
77,000. Yeah. So we just archived 77,000 tweets in the amount of time.
Okay, so I think there are multiple lines per tweet. So maybe not 77,000.
No, it's one line per tweet. 77,000 tweets. That's replies, retweets, the whole shebang. Lots of analysis to be done. We can see when, like Michael was saying, behaviors, when he tweets, where he tweets from, all the photos,
even
all the videos.
Linguistical analysis you could do if you really wanted to,
build yourself a McAfee bot.
Think about it. If you wanted to write a really good phishing email that made you think it was this person, then you could do a statistical, language analysis, and then you could write a letter that looks like even to someone that would know the person, like, yeah, those are the kinds of words people use. Like, I wouldn't question that, right? Because like that's something people don't really think about. But like oftentimes you'll be able to see a phishing email and you're like immediately know it's a phishing email, not even because of like what they're asking, but because of the way they're talking and then communicating. So that's the sort of subtle stuff that I feel like people overlook a lot, but can be incredibly valuable.
Definitely. All right. Okay. That's all the time we have for this episode. Big shout out to Varonis for being our sponsor and also for hosting a lot of other great free content for beginners. If you guys are interested, there's lots of great stuff out there. We particularly recommend the AD PowerShell workshop, as well as all of the great webinars we've been doing, such as the Attack Labs, where you can see how big companies are actually able to respond to threats like ransomware. So if you're ever interested in blue teaming and keeping things safe, then it's really fascinating to see how threats are actually shut down in the modern world, because it's really cool and involves some spooky machine learning.
And if you were at all interested in our content today, then you might want to go back and check our previous episodes on Maltego. I believe we did some business intelligence with trucking companies.
Oh, yeah.
In a much older episode. And then we also did
OSINT for logistics investigations. All you truckers out there, come on, trucker Twitter. Like, I'm trying to do this for you. Like, trucker Twitter is my home. Like,
and then also we recently did one on taking a person and getting their passport number.
Although just from a photo.
Just from a photo
to passport number. Yeah, so that one's a little controversial, but enjoy it, guys, while it stays up.
So if you like this, go check out those videos. There might be one or two more. I'll link them up in the notes above.
Yep, and of course we're in the chat, so if you have any questions during these, you can always ask us. You can check out the Security Forward YouTube channel, that's SecurityFWD, in order to see replays of this and other streams. And we will see you guys next time.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.